Angus Goodbody, thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure being here.
Thanks. So the NRCS, that's the Natural Resources Conservation Service, issues spring forecasts for Western rivers, including the Rio Grande. How does the Rio Grande look this spring?
Uh, this spring, we're looking at below median stream flow for most of the watersheds in the Rio Grande. It depends a bit on which part we're talking about. As a whole, the main stem down in central Mexico is expected to have a little less than 70% of median. Um, and that would be for the April through July runoff period. But there is quite a bit of variability. The good news is that the headwaters in Colorado probably are in the best shape right now. So still not at median or typical values, but not so far below.
So when you're compiling these forecasts, what are the different factors you consider?
So our forecast modeling system it's a statistical method that we use. We also work in conjunction with NOAA National Weather Service, and they use a process simulation model. So we actually have a few different sources of information um, available to us. I'll talk about the NRCS modeling system, though. Again, we really rely mostly on historical and current observations of snowpack and precipitation. And we collect most of those data through the SNOTEL network, which is our high elevation mountain ground-based observing system.
And so can you talk about how snowpack relates to streamflow and also how that has kind of changed?
Sure. So, in a lot of the Western U.S., we depend on water from the mountains, and that water is largely sourced as snowpack. So, um, accumulating through the winter, we tend to have deep seasonal snowpacks through a lot of the upper Rio Grande Basin and also in New Mexico in the higher peaks of the Sangre de Cristos and the other high mountains in that area locally. So the whole premise for being able to forecast is the fact that we do accumulate this snowpack high up in the mountain ahead of time, so we're able to assess exactly how much is up there, or at least an index of how much is up there. And then we know that is going to run off later in the springtime once the temperatures warm up, et cetera. So it's really based on that natural snowpack reservoir that can be measured in advance to give us an indication of what to expect later in the spring and summer runoff season.
One of the things that we've talked about a bunch on our show is how even a normal or above average snowpack doesn't necessarily translate to robust downstream flows. Can you explain why that is?
Sure. So, and this gets, you asked a little bit about the change too in the previous question. So there's no question that, the amount of snow we have in our mountains is changing and has changed, considerably in the last few decades. We can detect that just with our ground-based measurements. There's also a feedback between how much snow is in the mountains and what actually runs off. And it's not just simply, oh, there's less snow, so we have less water. There's other processes in play here related to forests, transpiration and evaporation and soil moisture conditions coming into a season that seem to be exacerbated recently with multiple years of dry conditions. So we have deficits entering the season that may be larger than what we're used to, even in the more recent historic record. So I will say, yeah, so if you think about less snow in the mountains, obviously that's going to mean less volume. It also can mean different timing of the runoff as well. And this is an issue because we have built our systems around an expectation of runoff at certain times of the year. So potentially, as we have warming and maybe more of the storms in the winter transition to more liquid precipitation rather than snow, we can actually have a similar amount of runoff, but coming at different times of the year. Now, that is not what we've been seeing in the most recent decade in the Rio Grande. In general, it's been just quite dry. So overall, the main force for runoff is going to be how much precipitation of any variety that we get throughout the year. And so as long as that remains low, we'll continue to have low runoff. I guess to talk more about the stream flow, and we have seen a significant reduction. Every 10 years, we update our stream flow normals. And basically that is a 30-year average and median that we calculate for the seasonal target periods that we forecast for. So again, that's typically either April, July, or March, July, or the standard target periods in the Rio Grande. And what we did see across the board in this recent update was less total volume of water running off during that time period. So our actual normals have lowered, which means that our interpretation of 100% of normal is actually less than it was for the previous 10 years.
I think so many of us want to know or understand how many good years would we need to ever catch up?
Honestly, if things were wetter in the Rio Grande, it wouldn't necessarily take that long to catch up. I mean, the big question is that actually going to happen? And again, I do tend to look to history. I know we're in a time of greater uncertainty with what the climate will be doing, in the next decade or decades. However, we can look back, particularly at our stream flow records, which in the Rio Grande area, honestly, go back 100 years or more in some cases, and get an idea of what have things been like in the past. So as I mentioned, we update our normals every 30 years. I've actually gone back 80 years and looked at 30-year increments through time to see what those cycles have looked like. And the reality is the Rio Grande has always gone through long cyclical periods of wetter and drier periods. So in a sense, what we're experiencing now is not unprecedented. Of course, the reasons we may be experiencing may be unprecedented. So of course, that's the concern right now.